seventh canto from today on. Seventh canto is Uti. Atra sargo visargascha sthanam poshanamudaya manvantara ishanikada nirodho tirashre. Those are the 10 subject matters. And seventh canto deals about Uti. What is Uti? Uti, Utaya, is our natural inclination springing up from within. That is Uti. And how is the seventh canto Uti? Because seventh canto tells us about how the divine natural inclination has sprung from Prahlad Maharaj, and how demoniac natural inclination so naturally sprung from Hiranyakashipu. Right? And these two subject matters, they are the first 10 chapters of seventh canto. And after that, the last 5 chapters are the in-between people. Not so divine as Prahlad Maharaj's, the divine Uti of Prahlad Maharaj, and not so demoniac Uti of Hiranyakashipu. Who is there in between? That in between people, they are described in the last 5 chapters. That is about Varnashrama. Pure devotion is one end, demoniac is the other end, and in between is Varnashrama Dharma. So Varnashrama Dharma is mixed inclination. Not so divine as Prahlad Maharaj, not so demoniac as Hiranyakashipu. So what do those people do then? They take up Varnashrama Dharma and they gradually get purified over a lifetime or over lives, many lives. Varnashrama Vibhagaha Atra Prumvir Dvijasveshta Varnashrama Vibhagasaha Swanushtitasya Dharmasya Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. That is the purpose of the Devi Varnashrama Dharma. According to one's inclination and occupation in Varnashrama Dharma, Devi Varnashrama Dharma, Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. As they try to do Haritoshanam, please, Lord Vishnu, Hari, in whatever Varna and Ashrama they are, over a gradual period of time, they get purified, and they're still, it's like a staircase. Purification is there, but it is at such a snail pace because there's a lot of sense gratificatory tendency is still there. And when would that go away? When would this Uti move closer to the divine Prahaladas? Not just with Varnashrama Dharma. Purification happens. Still, since they are attached to material things, pace is at slow. When, who can change them? Who can give them the higher taste? Who can make them see that there is something more permanent, more assuring, and more tastier than what they are relishing? It's a pure devotee, right? Whoever is carrying the Shuddha Bhakti in them. So only when they come in contact with a pure devotee, whoever is in Varnashrama Dharma, they will move, only then they will be able to move faster towards the Uti, divine Uti of Prahlad Maharaj. So this is the overview, 7th canto, the framework of the 7th canto. The divine Uti of Prahlad Maharaj, demoniac Uti of Hiranyakashipu, and the mixed Uti of everybody else in between, and how Varnashrama Dharma purifies. But an association of a pure devotee is a must, because Bhakti Sanjayate Bhakti. Bhakti has to come from Bhakta to move towards Uti of Prahlad Maharaj. That's Uti. And we also have heard, it's not just Uti only. As we are already hearing, Narsingha Bhagwan is going to appear. and he's going to save Prahlad Maharaj. So what are involved there? That is Ishanukada. When Isha is appearing, there is Isha Anukada and full of Poshana. Narasimha Bhagavan has appeared to give Poshana, protection to Prahlad Maharaj. So in that way, other topics are also present, but Uti is very clearly, very conspicuous in 7th canto. That's what Acharya said. So that's about the 7th canto. So as we see, it's pretty simple. The first 10 chapters are about Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu. The last chapters are about Varnashrama Dharma. It is simple. Last Varnashrama Dharma, last chapters, there's not a lot for us to relish. There is something to know. That's very good. But with Prahlad Maharaj, wow, this is pretty dense and compact in the sense, not only in the relishment, but every word Prahlad Maharaj speaks and his tone, how he is very strongly calling all of us, the conditioned souls. That is very loud and clear in the first 10 chapters. So that will take some time. We do not want to rush, especially when it is coming from Prahlad Maharaj. So this will take time. Rest of it, 5 chapters can. So that's about the 7th canto, about the Uti and the divisions. The first division is Prahlad Maharaj, and then second one is Varnashrama Dharma. Now coming to the connection between the 6th canto and 7th canto. How did Prahlad Maharaj Charita came into picture while the 6th canto ended with Diti and Indra, right? So Parikshit Maharaj was hearing, as Sukadeva Goswami is saying, that Indra, Diti wanted to have a child who can kill Indra, who can kill demigods. He's saying, well, that desire is kind of understandable because it looks like Lord Vishnu, he seems to be partial to demigods. Anytime he appears, he's appearing for the demigod and he's protecting the demigods and he's killing the demons. Why is it like that? Vishnu is not supposed to be partial, right? And I am concerned that everybody would think Lord Vishnu is partial. So, would you please say, Guruvarya Sukadeva Goswami, can you please clear this confusion, the samshaya? Can you tell us how Lord Vishnu is not partial? So, that was the dialogue after the completion of the 6th canto and the beginning of the 7th canto. Okay, so now we can go to the slides and then see what happened from there. That's 7th canto. Yes, it's all ready for us. Yeah, are you ready? Prahlad Maharaj and Narasimha Bhagavan. 7th. That's Narasimha Bhagavan. So majestically sitting there, Prahlad Maharaj heading towards Narasimha Bhagavan. Narasimha Bhagavan. Okay, so this we have already discussed about divine Uti, demonic Uti, and in between. And this is a slide, something a relevant information, a piece of information. Here, we will just go ahead with this so you don't lose the continuity. This we can come back later. The continuity here, this is what we are discussing. So yeah, that was the question from Parikshit Maharaj, and he's saying, would you please tell me how Lord Vishnu is not partial? So everybody can know the fact. So, yeah, Parikshit Maharaj is saying, Vishnu, Lord Vishnu is Sama, Priya, Suhrud. Sama is equal to everybody. Priya is, he is the dear, he is beloved, and Suhrud, his benefactor. And how come this has happened that he always just comes and favors demigods only? Yeah. Um, and Narayana Gunan Prati Samshaya, would you please, Samshaya, this doubt, clarify this doubt about Narayana Guna. The Guna of Narayana is very auspicious, they are glorious. But this Samshaya has come, Parikshit Maharaj is asking us on all of our behalf. So this is the question. And he also says, Parikshit Maharaj, see, Lord Vishnu is Vishuddha, Vishuddha Sattva, right? There are no modes, tinge of modes in him. And he is Nihishveyasa. He's made of full of bliss. He doesn't really have to get any benefit from others. So why would he take sides of demigods, and what is it there for him to get benefit by taking sides of demigods and giving him victory? He is not going to get anything from any happiness from him. He's already full of happiness. So there is nothing for him to get from demigods just by supporting them or protecting them. And on the other hand, also he doesn't have vidvesha, envy. And he doesn't have udvega, fear, because vidvesha, udvega are tamogunas. And Lord Narayana, Vishnu, is nirguna. What to talk of tamoguna? There is no tamoguna, there is no rajoguna, and he is beyond the Shuddha Sattva too. The difference between Vishuddha Sattva and Shuddha Sattva is, Vishuddha Sattva is the transcendental realm. When the transcendental realm or the Lord is making his appearance into this Brahmanda, that is Shuddha Sattva. When he's making his appearance into the Brahmanda. Shuddha is pure goodness. So that's a slight, very slight difference that we can say. So in that way, he's nirguna. Then what is it? Why would he kill the demons? Because there is no fear in him, there is no envy in him, and why would he kill the demons? He is nirguna. So it is a little difficult to understand this. So please, this samshaya, can you remove this samshaya, please? And Sukadeva Goswami, our original slide, he was very happy hearing that question from Parikshit Maharaj. Why was he happy? We are very happy also with that question, because that question is going to give an answer, or rest of the katha, which is Harir Charitam Adbhutam. Is now Sukadeva Goswami is going to describe the Harir Charita, the pastimes. Adbhutam, wonderful. Because Parikshit Maharaj asked that question, now we have the opportunity to hear that Harir Charita, which is Adbhutam. And not just the pastimes of the Lord. Lord just doesn't do pastimes on his own. There are devotees. Either if it is a spiritual leela there or coming down to the material one, there are devotees. So in that context, we will be able to hear about Bhagavatas, like Prahlad Maharaj here, and their Mahatmyam. We will not come to know what a Bhagavata is, how staunch they are. And Prahlad Maharaj is known as Govinda Parirambita, always embraced by Govinda. When he speaks, it is pretty clear that Mahatma of the Bhagavatas, we will not even know that somebody can be like that without Parikshit Maharaj asking this question and Sukadeva Goswami explaining to us, telling us Prahalada Charita. So Bhagavata Mahatmya also comes. And when Hari is coming down to do the pastimes, and the Bhagavatas are involved in the pastimes, and we hear about the wonderful reciprocation of Lord Hari, Lord Krishna, with his devotees, giving so much of poshana to his devotees. What would happen to our bhakti? Bhakti vardhanam. Bhakti grows. That's why the pastimes of how Lord is reciprocating with the devotees, with us, bhakti vardhanam. These things, these major things happen. Because you have that question, Parikshit Maharaj, now these three major things are going to happen. That's why your question is wonderful, glorious. He says that. So now Sukdev Goswami is saying, yes, the Lord is Nirguna. He's Aja. He's not, he doesn't have birth. He's Avyakta, unreachable to our material senses, like that. And so that way he's untouched. But he has the Shaktis. He has this gunas. The modes are his energy. So he has these modes and he has this energy called time factor too. So what happens is he's pervading this Brahmanda with the modes, Rajoguna, Tamoguna, and Satvaguna. That's mixed. And his with his energy, the time factor, with that energy of time factor, he is influencing the modes. Because of the time factor, sometimes the Rajoguna will be high, and sometimes Tamoguna, and sometimes Satvaguna. When Satvaguna is prominent, then the demigods win the battle. When Tamoguna is prominent, then the demons win the battle. We heard in the 6th canto, right? When Indra, he did not greet and acknowledge Brihaspati, that's it. Tamoguna that started becoming prominent, and the demons have invaded, and Indra was defeated because the Tamoguna was prominent at that time. And after Indra did whatever he has did, he prayed Lord Vishnu, and Vritrasura was killed in the battlefield because the Shakti of Indra was bigger at that time because the Satvaguna was getting prominent, like that. So in this way, either the demigods win or demons win because of the modes which are under the influence of time. In this way, Lord Hari is impartial. He did not directly involve with any of these things. His automatic machinery system that he has put in, the modes and the time controlling the modes, because of that, the demigods and demons, they win and lose accordingly. So, and he also says, everybody in the Brahmanda, the jivas, they also get bodies. So in this way, the Bhagavan, absolute truth, here comes the thought. When the absolute truth is being impartial and just awarding whatever rewards that a jiva is supposed to get, good karma or bad karma, then that aspect of absolute truth is Paramatma. Paramatma is Upadrishtaha Anumantacha. He is the supervisor and he's the witness, Upadrishta Anumantacha. And he allows, witness and the permitter. Yeah? So when the Lord is doing those activities, that is Paramatma Tattva. Then there is no partiality. Because all the karmis, whoever is not doing bhakti also, upadrishtacha anumantacha, everybody. But when somebody is wanting to reciprocate with the absolute truth, then absolute truth reciprocates with them in the form of Bhagavan. So it's the same absolute truth, but if based on the functionality, If it's impartial to anybody, then that's just Paramatma. But when somebody wants to reciprocate with him, then the same absolute truth takes the form of Bhagavan and reciprocates. It's like this. Say a school teacher, The teacher, according to the syllabus, she or he just teaches in the classroom. If somebody has the interest, great interest in hearing, and doesn't have any interest at all, virtuous or serious, whoever it is, the teacher, as a matter of duty, just teaches in the classroom. Correct? Impartially just gives the information. But if, say, few students in the class, if they're very interested in what the teacher has to say, and if they're paying attention in the class and then outside the classroom too, when they approach the teacher and thank the teacher so much, thanks so much, and profusely give because of their gratitude of what she is or he is giving, and then ask further more questions and show the inquisitiveness, then what would the teacher do? The teacher would reciprocate accordingly to that student. So it's the same teacher in the classroom, impartial. But when somebody is approaching like that, showing that interest and care and gratitude, then because the student is seeking more reciprocation than the teacher also gives. So it's the same teacher, it's the same absolute truth. When impartial, it's Paramatma. When begins to reciprocate with whoever wants to reciprocate with him, that's Bhagavan aspect. This particular part is not exactly in sequence of 7th canto here, but this is brought up here because it fits in very well here. The question here was only until the modes and how the modes influence, and the Katha, as Sukadeva Goswami is saying. The demigods and demons, they win and lose based on the influence of the modes. So that we have seen. Through Vritrasura Charita, we got that example. Then what about Vamana, Varahadeva coming down? Yeah, to kill Hiranyaksha. How about Narasimhadeva coming down to kill Hiranyakashipu? Then the Lord himself is coming down. Then what about that? For that question, this is the answer. Because when the devotees want, depending upon how much they want to reciprocate or with the Lord, based on that intensity, the Lord himself comes down as Bhagavan. Then the pastimes happen. So these are two things, the Paramatma Tattva and Bhagavat Tattva. So Sukadeva Goswami is saying, see, I told you about the Paramatma Tattva. He's Upatrishta, Anumantacha, and it's only the modes and the time that influence. And this is why the demigods win sometimes and demons win sometimes. Okay? And that was the first thing he has answered. And then he gives the example, Sukadeva Goswami, to prove the point that Lord is so impartial. He's so impartial even when he's killing the demons. It means that impartiality is actually bringing the auspiciousness even to the demons. This is the guna of Lord Hari. To emphasize that point, now he's giving the examples. Sukadeva Goswami. He's saying, see, Parikshit Maharaj, I told you, right, how Lord Vishnu is impartial, that only through the time and modes demigods and demons get affected. Now I'll tell you what Narada Muni said to Yudhishthira when Rajasuya Yajna is happening. In the Rajasuya Yajna, Lord Krishna was invited to receive the first Agra Puja, is the first main puja. He was welcomed and he was seated there. So that's Rajasuya Yajna. And in that Yajna, Shishupala, you know about Shishupala, right? He was allowed to do 99 blasphemies to the Lord. But the 100th one will not be tolerated and the head will be chopped off. That's about Shishupala. So Yudhishthira Maharaj saw that in Rajasuya Yajna, that Shishupala was blaspheming Krishna, Lord Krishna, like that. And when the Chakra beheaded Shishupala, Yudhishthira saw that the soul of Shishupala has merged into Lord Krishna. Yudhishthira was surprised. Narada Muni was standing there. He was saying, "Oh Narada Muni, oh Rajarshi, Brahmarshi." So Narada Muni, I don't understand this. He has blasphemed the Lord so much in front of us, in front of everybody. How is it that the soul is merging in the Lord? Can you please tell me? So this is what Yudhishthira Maharaj asked Narada Muni. And I will tell you what Narada Muni said to Yudhishthira. Then you will know how much Lord is impartial, and whatever he does, even the killing of the demons, is also auspicious. That's what Sukadeva Goswami says. So rest of the 7th canto here is Narada Muni speaking to the Yudhishthira. That's how the 7th canto goes. So Narada Muni says, "So, oh Yudhishthira, this is Shishupala's soul merging. That's Brahma Sayajya Mukti in Krishna." So Yudhishthira Maharaj was asking, how is that Shishupala blasphemed so much and he merged into the Lord? But Vena, remember the bad king Vena, he was also a bad king like Shishupala. And he also ill-named God, and he also defied the Lord's authority. But he did not merge in the Lord. He was affected with white leprosy. When he got affected, he did not merge in the Lord. So what is this difference? Both are bad kings, both were blaspheming the Lord, but one get to merge into the Lord and the other had to experience the fruits of his bad karma. Why is it like that? Yudhishthira Maharaj asked when comparing Vena to Shishupala. He says, "My intelligence is really getting disturbed, like the candle flame blown by the wind." How nice, these wonderful examples, right? Yudhishthira Maharaj says, "Please, can you tell me?" Same question, right? Parikshit Maharaj. "Samshaya, Narayana Guna Samshaya. Can you please remove that out?" Then Narada Muni speaks about Yudhishthira, speaks to Yudhishthira about the Bhagavad Tattva again. So, Lord, the Supreme Lord, he is beyond bodily conception. Say, if somebody, you said these kings, these bad kings, Vena and Shishupala, they blaspheme Lord, right? You think the blasphemy touched the Lord? He is beyond any gunas. The blasphemy comes from a material platform. Somebody is angry or envious because their body is affected or their mind is affected by somebody. Because somebody harmed their body or somebody harmed their feelings, that's why they are angry or envious towards others. So harming the body, harming the mind will happen when there is body and mind. Bhagavan, he doesn't have a body, material body. He doesn't have material mind. So how will any blasphemy affect Bhagavan, who doesn't have any material body or mind? So Bhagavan is not affected by any criticism or even glorification too. Whoever is giving the glorification, the auspiciousness is reflected back to them. Whoever is giving the blasphemy or criticism, it will just come back to them. He says that, right? But based on that, if Shishupala is criticizing, it should come and affect him, right? For Vena, it affected. He got the bad karma for blaspheming the Lord. Then Shishupala did not get affected. Why didn't he get the bad karma? How come he auspiciously merged into the Lord? Then Narada Muni says, okay, somehow or other, concentrate your mind on the Lord. Whatever feeling negative feeling or positive feeling. Tasmad vairanu nirvairaina bhayena va snehat kamena va yunjat kadachin nikshat na ikshate pratak. Even by enmity, by devotion or fear or by lust, whatever the emotion may be, direct it towards the Lord. Concentrate on the Lord for your own sake. Remember, the Lord is not affected, but it is for your good that you direct it towards the Lord. Whoa. We know bhakti, positivity, devotion being directed to the Lord. We have heard it. What is this enmity? Fear? Fear, okay. Fear also, we can take shelter of the lotus feet. Out of fear also, we can go to Lord Krishna. But enmity, anger, also directed to the Lord. How come? Then, here comes the caveat. See, when somebody is able to do the absorption in the Lord, like Shishupala, in the case of Shishupala or Kamsa, it is their absorption, their intense absorption that made him reach the Lord, even in the form of Sahaja Bhakti, even if it is that. So it's the intensity of the absorption. They were so much absorbed, 100% at all times, overflowing absorption. That was the reason that made them merge with the Lord. The negativity part of angry, envy, that the Lord ignored. The Lord ignored that part of it. Oh, this particular person, Jiva, is so intensely absorbed in me. That part I will take. Is negative or positive? I will leave it aside. Same as Putana. Aho bakiyam stanakalakutam jidhamseya apyad asadvi lebhe gatim dhatri uchitam tadonyam kamvadayalu sharanam vajima. Sukadeva Goswami, he was a Brahmananda, a Brahmavadi. He became a pure devotee just with that guna of the Lord. What? Is this the guna of the Lord? He's just looking at whatever little bit of attachment or gesture that anybody does towards him and ignores everything else. Putana has come there to kill baby Krishna. He ignored the intention part of it. He counted the part of, okay, Putana is coming to me, so she wants come to me, so I will take her to the spiritual realm. So Kamva Dayalu Sharanam Vrajema. This much daya to the Lord that he sees only the good part of it. Even in the bad, he would see the good part. So the matter here is Shishupal had so much of intensity of absorption, though it is negative. That's why he got merged into the Lord. And if somebody tries to do this, absorb in the Lord through the enmity, through fear, anger, what would happen if they don't have that much absorption, overflowing at all times, as these souls had? They would end up with bad karma and go to hell. So that's a great risk. Conditioned souls, right? So that's why it is not encouraged to be in absorption in a negative mode, not with the enmity, not with the anger. With the positive mode, absorption is always encouraged. There, even if it's a little bit of absorption, with a positive mode, yeah, then that will save us from hell. What happened to Ajamila? He didn't even know what mood he had. He was just desperately said Narayana one time, but there was no negativity in that. Just for that, he got qualified for Namamasa. What would happen to us? We intentionally We are doing the bhakti, taking the nama every day. Krishna, please help, Krishna. What would happen to us? How much hope is there for us? When the intention is positive, though the absorption is little, when Ajmila could get that result, qualified for Nama Bhasa, we have great hopes. So the take-home point for us here is, it's the intensity that qualifies there, but definitely the mood should be in a positive mood, so that way we don't go to hell. That part is guaranteed. Like for Ajamila, it was guaranteed that he did not go to hell just with the namas. So bhakti with anukulyasya sankalpa. Anukula, whatever is pleasing to the Lord, anukula to the Lord, and uh, absorption as much as possible in anukula mode. So that is the take-home point for us. And here, that's the take-home point, and Narada Muni was giving the examples. So these are the two slokas of how different modes will come to those. How these are the different modes. Look at this. Whatever mood it may be, direct it to the Lord on the same time. Kamadveshat bhayat sneha yadha bhaktishware manaha aveshya tadagam hitva bhavastad gatim gataha. Even if it is lust or hatred or fear or affection or devotion, Bhakti Ishware Mana. Keep your mana in the Ishwara, in the Lord Krishna. Avesha tad agam hitva. Here, agam hitva, you have to give up the sin. You will give up the sin when the absorption in the Lord is so much. Like in the case of Putana again, Putana's full intention was to kill baby Krishna. But Acharyas described, after she took baby Krishna and looked at the face of baby Krishna as she was feeding little Krishna, she was thinking, how beautiful is this baby? Putana, she forgot her intention. She came with the intention of killing, but by default, Bhagavan has such influence, agam hitva, whatever agam sin is there, then it will go away. It will be mitigated. It will be burnt. Yeah. So that way, Narada Muni and Bhavas Tadgatim Gataha. In this way, whoever has directed their emotion to the Lord ultimately reach the Lord. Yeah. But we remember the caveat, right? It has to be a positive one. Negative one, there will be a risk. And in this shloka, he was just giving the example of how each one had different mood, but still they have attained the Lord. Gopah kamat bhayat kamso dvesascha ityadayon rupaha sambandhat vrishnaya sneha yuyam bhaktya vayam vibho. All the examples that Narada Muni gave here, especially in the negative. The positive ones we know. Yadus were absorbed in the thoughts of the Lord with family relationship. Pandavas with the affection, and we, like Narada Muni, we are absorbed in the Lord in bhakti. Here Kamsa and Shishupala Dantavakra, they were absorbed in fear and envy. But still, they attained Bhagavan here because, as we have discussed before, their absorption was pretty intense, without any break in between. So, the these are the things Narada Muni said, and these are just the pictures of how absorbed all these devotees are. These are the positive moods of absorption. Yashoda Mayi, Gopis, like that. And Srimati, yeah. And one statement Narada Muni says after he explains everything is, see, the absorption that Shishupala had, the absorption in the envy can be greater. Then the absorption in bhakti, he says that, Narada Muni. We think, what? But that is only, Acharyas say, that is paravichar, only apparent statement. Don't be tricked by that. He's saying that because Narada Muni was feeling so humble, he was thinking, look at the absorption of those Sishupala, Dantavakra, Kamsa. How wonderful was that absorption part? I don't even have that absorption. That was the feeling of Narada Muni. So out of humility, he said that. And the other examples were described. Like Radharani, out of humility, she thinks like, who am I? I'm doing nothing for Krishna. I don't really have any devotion for Krishna. That's Radharani. Ahladani Shakti of Bhagavan, thinking that she does not have any bhakti for Bhagavan. Do we get trapped with that statement? So this statement by Narada Muni is compared with that. Yeah, that's the humility of Narada Muni. And here Kaviraj, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, when he was writing Chaitanya Charitamrita, he says, I am so fallen than Jaga and Madan. When these great elevated souls say like that, those are words of humility. So those words of Narada Muni has to be understood like that. And this is an example. Based on the intensity of absorption, then one would attain what their meditation is. He's giving the example of grass worm turning into a bee. Shishupala's absorption was so big, so much brimming, overflowing, intense on Lord Krishna that he merged in Krishna to explain that example. Okay, now it's clear. Yes, absorption was the reason that Shishupala got merged in the Lord. But for us, the take-home point is it's very important that we stay away from the negative feelings so we save ourselves from going to the hell. So we want to be in the positive absorption. And all those moods directed towards the Lord. Yeah. That, okay, and that's one thing. Okay, that's one section. Okay. Then next question is, then Narada Muni says to Yudhishthira, says Shishupala, after giving the explanation of why Shishupala's soul merged into Krishna, he goes to reinforce again, Shishupala is not an ordinary person. Shishupala and Dantavakra, they were actually the residents of Vaikuntha. What are the qualities of Vaikuntha residents? They are completely absorbed in the Lord. That's what Jaya and Vijay were. Just because they came to this material world, still the absorption is the same. Because of the pastimes, the need of the pastimes, it was in a negative mood. So Narada Muni is saying, Shishupala is not an ordinary one. And so he is a resident of Vaikuntha. Then Yudhishthira says, what? Vaikuntha Vasis never fall down. What is there for them to fall down? There is no material body. There is no material mind. Unbelievable. Can you please tell me the pastimes of how they fell down and who caused them to make this unbelievable thing happen? That was the Yudhishthira Maharaj question. And then we already know Jaya Vijaya story, right? How the four Kumaras came, Jaya Vijaya was there. And they stopped them at the entrance of the Vaikuntha. And then the four Kumaras, they said, no, you are seeing duality. This doesn't befit this Vaikuntha world. You are not Vaikuntha, don't belong to Vaikuntha. So you go down to Bhuloka. Then these two devotees, oh no, we can't bear this separation from Narayana. Can you please adjust? For 7 lives, two options were given. You go down because you're in a passionate mode, seeing the duality, you go down to the material world and stay there for 7 lives. Then they're like, no, we can bear the separation from Narayana. Can you please make some adjustment to your curse? Oh, well, okay. We take pity on you. Okay, how about this? We can take the curse back. So the other deal is 7 lives you will be far, and the other option is you can come back to Vaikuntha in 3 lives, but you will be in a envious mood, enmity mood to Bhagavan. So which one do you want? They say, no, we can't bear separation from Lord Narayana. Okay, 3 lives, not 7 lives, just 3 lives, even if it is an enmity towards Bhagavan. This is the mood of the Vaishnavas, the Vaikunthavas, Jaya, Vijaya, that they could not bear the separation. And the whole reason for this pastime to happen is Lord Narayana had a desire to taste the Virya Rasa. And who can fight, give the Virya Rasa to the Lord? Mortal beings cannot give that. His own people, like Vaikunthaman, has to go down. So because Lord Narayana had that desire in there, this Jaya Vijaya, they choose, okay, enmity is fine. We want to come back in 3 lives. So that's why Jaya Vijaya came down, took place in the womb of Diti, and were born as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Narad Muni is narrating this, giving a quick overview already to Sukadev. No, Narad Muni to Yudhishthira. Yeah, so in this way, Hiranyaksha came, Hiranyakashipu came, and Varahadeva came, killed Hiranyaksha, and then Narasimha, he appeared. Prahlad Maharaj was so good, and he was a little boy. But Hiranyakashipu was such a villain. He tortured his own son. And so in this way, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, that was the first life. And the second life, they took their birth as Ravana and Kumbhakarna. And after that, as you have just seen, Shishupala and Dantavakra. So they are not ordinary. This is the story behind them. Narada says to Yudhishthira. Now that question is also answered, Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking for our sake now. You just said Narada Prahlada was such a little boy. And how come Hiranyakashipu, who is father and is supposed to be so loving, how come he treat his son like that? And how come he tried to kill his own son? I am really curious to hear about this. So can you please say Prahalada Charita? This is where the whole 7th canto is coming, because Yudhishthira Maharaj asked that question to Narada Muni, which came out from the mouth of Parikshit Maharaj. Okay. Prahalada Charita. This is going to be like a movie, a quick one. This is just what happened before Prahlada appeared. Hiranyakashipu was very angry. So until now, we have heard the conversation. And we have heard about how Lord Vishnu is impartial. And then Sukadeva Goswami gave those examples of how all our emotions should be directed to Bhagavan. And then we will attain him. But the caveat is, it's better to choose the positive ones, otherwise we'll go to hell. That part we have heard so far. And the next section coming is Yudhishthira Maharaj. After that, we quickly heard about how this, the story behind how this Shishupala and Dantavakra came to this material world. That we have heard. And now the third part we are hearing is about actual Prahalada Charita. In the Prahalada Charita, this is linked. How come? What is the reason that Narasimha Dev has appeared? Right? So it's the Hiranyakashipu. What was he thinking? Because Lord Varahadeva came and killed Hiranyaksha. Hiranyaksha is his younger brother. So Hiranyakashipu was very angry. He was thinking, Lord Vishnu came in this form of Varaha and killed my son, my brother, my beloved brother, Hiranyaksha. Vishnu is supposed to be impartial. Again, the same thing came in. But he behaved partially. Yeah. So I am going to teach him a lesson. I'm going to kill him. Look at the thinking of Hiranyakashipu. I'm going to kill him. So then he calls all his demons, soldiers, and says, okay, I want to kill Vishnu. What you need to do is, I will kill Vishnu. And all those demigods who are linked up Vishnu, they will get dried up because they are linked. Demigods survive because of Vishnu. If Vishnu is killed, then the demigods get dried up. What you should do is, you go and kill all the Brahmanas and cows. Because of the Brahmanas and cows, they do the yajna, all that yajna goes to demigods, and the demigods become strong, and they are the strength of Vishnu. So you kill Brahmanas and cows, and I will kill Vishnu. That's the plan of Hiranyakashipu. Look at that thinking. Before we go, this will be a good time to see some take-home points a little bit later. So that's the plan of Hiranyakashipu. And meanwhile, Hiranyaksha's family members, his brother, family members, all of them, were really weeping that Hiranyaksha is dead. And Hiranyakashipu, dear devotees, please hear the words of Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu, his philosophy, and see if it is any different from Bhagavad Gita. These are the words from Hiranyakashipu. So Hiranyakashipu says, oh, my dear family members, please don't celebrate the death of my beloved brother Hiranyakasha. His death was glorious. He died by what? Venu who died and who died. He so grieved. Also, you know what? There are all souls. We are here for a little bit in this material world. We are here only. It's like all these people who come and eat together, they just dine together for some time and go away. Like the travelers in restaurant. This soul is eternal. And it just takes the body. Only soul, only transmigrates. It's only the perishable. And this conditioned soul, he thinks that he has changed when the body changes. No, it is such a philosophy coming, Bhagavad Gita coming. You can pause here and think. What are we doing? Hiranyakashipu, he is speaking about spiritual subject. What is the difference between him and us? That's a big question. Hiranyakashipu, he's speaking all this philosophy. Huh? His goal is Vishnu. Why? Because Vishnu means the speech is all spiritual philosophy, but the doing is all because he was attached to his body. This is not the because he killed his brother. That mental attachment. So words are spiritual, but very much attached is determined. That's Hiranyakashipu. He wants to kill Lord Vishnu because he wants to become the controller, the enjoyer, and the Hiranyakashipu. That's why he wants to kill Lord Vishnu. Do we have any of those tendencies?
Hare Krishna,
Yes,
Mataji. Mataji, you froze and your voice is breaking up.
Oh, okay, Prabhu. Internet in and out. Is it okay now?
Yes, now sounds okay, I think.
Yes, it is okay now, Mataji.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. Or do you think I should go check the internet and come back, or is it okay now?
It's sounding okay, Mataji. Yes.
Okay. Shall we continue? Yeah, 10 more minutes. Or
Can you, sorry, Mataji, if you don't mind, could you repeat
check it?
last 5 minutes
Oh,
or something?
yeah. Sure, Prabhu. Yeah, sure. Last 5 minutes.
Like, I think when you started to say, like, how do you compare it to Bhagavad Gita? I think from there or something like that.
Okay. Thank you for checking, Prabhu. Thank you. And if there is any disturbance again in between, please let me know. I'll go check the connection, but I'll go ahead and repeat what has happened, Prabhu. Yeah, Hiranyakashipu, he wants to kill Lord Vishnu. Bhagavad Gita, yeah. He was speaking Bhagavad Gita. But he is acting on the platform, material platform. And please interrupt me if you are seeing the same problem. Please feel free to interrupt me because this is going on to the YouTube too. So there has to be continuation in the Katha too. Please, I will go ahead with the flow now. But if it is happening again, I will quickly check and come back. So please feel free to interrupt. So Hiranyakashipu is saying these words. If this repeats again, then we'll pause the katha here and then continue in the next class. But I will repeat it now. Hiranyakashipu, he spoke all these words of philosophy in Bhagavad Gita. But his intention is to kill Lord Vishnu. Why like that? Because Lord Vishnu killed his brother who is materially related to him. So he's acting on based on the material attachment. He killed my brother, so I want to kill Vishnu. Acting is on the material platform, speaking is on the spiritual platform. So he knows the philosophy, but he's acting materially, attached to the body. Yeah, that is Hiranyakashipu. That's one point. And why is he killing Lord Vishnu? Why does he want to? Because he wants to be the controller, supreme controller. He wants to enjoy. And he wants to own everything, proprietor. This is why he wants to kill Lord Vishnu. Okay? So that is Hiranyakashipu. He wants to replace the Lord, become Lord. What is Lord doing? Because Lord here is, he's the supreme controller, supreme enjoyer, and the proprietor, original proprietor. That's Bhagavan. Hiranyakashipu wants to become Bhagavan. So that is Hiranyakashipu. What about us? Is there any comparison between Hiranyakashipu and us? Is there any commonality and is there any difference? We are thinking, whoa, are we comparing ourselves to Hiranyakashipu? I thought we took up bhakti and we are heading towards Prahlada Maharaj. We still have a lot of hope. First difference is Hiranyakashipu, he's speaking spiritual philosophy, but he's determined to act on the material platform. Determined to act, and he is living to act on the material platform. So he's determined. In our case, we are hearing Krishna Katha, we are hearing philosophy, we are hearing the Tattva philosophy that is coming from the Guru Parampara in a humble way and sharing it on the same note. The mood is different. The subject matter of whatever Hiranyakashipu spoke and what the devotee speak is Bhagavad Gita, but the mood is different here. Yeah, that's one thing. Second thing is, Hiranyakashipu is determined to be the controller, enjoyer, proprietor. Here, do we have the tendency of Hiranyakashipu? There are little Hiranyakashipus in all of us. That controlling tendency, enjoying tendency, and wanting to own things around, people around. These three actually belong to Bhagavan. But we have the tendency to, because of the influence of the modes. So we do have little Hiranyakashipus within us. But the good news is we do not want them. Yes, we recognize we have it, and we are doing bhakti. We want to get purified so we can get rid of these tendencies. So our intention is different here. We have acknowledged that we have those, but we want to get rid of it. There, Hiranyakashipu, he has those, and he wants to get them, not get rid of them. He wants to have those three qualities for him. He wants to be with those qualities. We don't want to be with those qualities. So that's the difference. By this, what are we understanding, dear devotees? Our bhakti is ultimately to get rid of these tendencies within us. The controllership, the proprietorship. Yeah. Enjoyment separately from Krishna in our own way. That selfish enjoyment, because enjoyment comes very much in bhakti through Bhagavan, through seva, through Sharanagati. There is a lot of enjoyment there. So that tendency of enjoying separately from Krishna, these three tendencies, they will gradually go away as we do bhakti, and as we get more purified when we hear from the sadhus who do not have these three qualities. The Sharanagata Bhaktas, they don't have these three qualities of controllership, proprietorship, and wanting to enjoy for themselves. They don't have these qualities. So when we hear, like Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada's Acharyas, any Sharanagata Bhakta, then at their Vani gives us a glimpse of, oh, the taste of Sharanagati, the taste of not being a doership, the taste of giving that controllership back to Krishna. Oh, will that be so good? I wish I can be like that. I wish I have that. That desire starts coming because they will start to give it the taste. That's it. As long as we have the desire, somehow Bhagavan, the Lord, will make our way towards that desire of doing that Sharanagata Bhakti. That's Sharanagata Bhakti, devoid of these three things. Yeah, that is our it can sound deep, but Hiranyakashipu had those three qualities, and through bhakti we want to get rid of these three qualities. It means getting rid of three qualities means giving all that to the Lord. It means we are doing the Sharanagati of the Lord. Those are not easy, but as we continue to hear from the Sharanagati Bhaktas, they will make it easy. They will make it easy. So I think we will pause here. Planned to do more. I think maybe we can pause in next 5 minutes. This chapter will be done. So Hiranyakashipu, he speaks like that. And then one more thing, Hiranyakashipu, he speaks that philosophy and says, I will give you a story where it is quite clear that we are just simply the souls. and we are here only for a little time. In that context, Hiranyakashipu says, see, Yamaraja, he, in the form of a small boy, um, he went to these queens who were weeping because of the loss of these are the queens, because of the death of their husband on the battlefield. And Suyagna, that's the king that died in the battlefield. These queens were weeping so much that they are not letting the Suyagna soul go away peacefully, and they're not burning the body. In those Vedic times, if somebody leaves the body, if somebody is dead, the body needs to be burnt by sunset because of many reasons. But these queens are not letting this body be burnt. Then Yamaraja thinking, oh, sunset is happening, and these wives, they are not leaving this, they are not burning this king's body. So Yamaraja comes in the form of small boy, and he says, this is all Hiranyakashipu saying to the family members. See, Yamaraja's words are like, why are you weeping? Huh? If you are attached so much to the body is right there. Why are you weeping? And if you are weeping because you are concerned about your protection, look at everybody. Everybody is being protected. And so you will also be protected. So you don't have to be attached to the body so much. Yeah. It's interesting that Hiranyakashipu is giving Yamaraja's example, because Yamaraja is saying, Supreme Personality of Godhead is the controller, maintainer, and destroyer. And he will give the protection. And Yamaraja continues. So the house and the house owner, they are different. So the body is different, the owner of the body, soul, is different. The fire is different, wood is different. And the ether also pervades everywhere, but doesn't mix anybody with anything. Like that, he gives the example, Yamaraja. And then with that, and Yamaraja, he gives one more story to these queens here. Says, you're all weeping here like this. I'll tell you a story about these Kulinga birds. The couple were there, and once the hunter came in and he shot the female bird. The female bird was dead, and the male bird was lamenting so much that it did not notice that the hunter is looking for him, and it did not fly away even when the hunter came in, because it was busy lamenting on the death of female body. So the hunter shot the male body also. So you, all of you queens, don't be like that Kulinga bird. Now, please stop lamenting and do the needy rituals. So, like that, Yamaraja instructs these queens, and Hiranyakashipu says, so this is how the soul is different from the body. So all of you, please do not weep. He says that. And then this we will do it next time. After saying this, consoling the family members, he wants to go accomplish his mission. He wants to kill the Lord Vishnu. So he goes for the tapasya. That we will hear in the next session. Yeah. So we'll pause here, dear devotees. We will pause at a good slide, which is more encouraging. All this philosophy is good. Yeah, I think this is good here. Varahadeva is here. So summarizing everything quickly for us today, we heard about, actually, we heard about the 7th canto about Uti, how Prahlad Maharaj has divine Uti and Hiranyakashipu has demonic Uti, and that forms the first 10 chapters in the 7th canto. And rest of the jivas who has mixed vibhuti, they are in between, and they fall in the varnashrama dharma, and that is described in the last 5 chapters. And after that, we also talked about how one can be swiftly taken towards the uti of Prahalada only with the association of pure devotee. Otherwise, it would take a long time for a soul to get purified in Varnashrama Dharma and come towards this complete purification to the uti of Prahlad Maharaj. And then the link between the 6th canto and 7th canto was, why is it? It looks like Lord Vishnu seems to be partial, always favoring demigods and killing demons. Everybody may misunderstand him. Please tell something. Sukadeva Goswami proving that Lord Vishnu is impartial. And that's when Sukadeva Goswami says, yeah, Lord is Nirguna. He doesn't have any reason to gain from, he doesn't need anything to gain from demigods, or he doesn't have any envy towards the demons because he's Nirguna. He states that. And in that context, we talked about how Paramatma Tattva is impartial, but when a jiva wants to reciprocate with the Lord, that same absolute truth comes down as Bhagavad Tattva and does the pastimes that we have heard. And after Sukadeva Goswami said, see, the Lord is impartial. It's only through the gunas, which are his energies, and are influenced by the time, which is also the energy of Bhagavan. Only with this time and gunas, these jivas, who are demigods and demons, are affected, and they are victorious sometimes and they're defeated sometimes. And also, the Lord is so much impartial. I'll tell you the example. So Sukadeva Goswami says, Yudhishthira Maharaj was asking Narada Muni about Shishupala and how impartial is that the Lord. Even by killing Shishupala, he gave him liberation. So his impartiality is so much that he's giving auspiciousness even when killing the demons. On that note, he explains how Shishupala, how any emotion when directed to the Lord, when it is so, when somebody is so absorbed, soaked in the thought of the Lord, then they will attain the Lord. That we have heard. And there the caveat is, if the absorption is not that great, then they will end up in the hell. So the take-home point was favorable. We do the bhakti with favorable absorption, and we are already doing it. So how hopeful is our future that our intention is good and we are doing it every day. If Ajamula could be saved just with one Nama Bhasa, here we are with good intention and not like Shishupala. So we compare that to the Ajamila. So we will definitely be saved from the hell for guarantee, and it can only get better. So bhakti to be performed with a positive mode. That we have heard. And then after that, the examples he gave, right? Different examples in different modes that we have heard. After all that, now when Yudhishthira Maharaj, when Narada Muni said, oh, that Shishupala is not an ordinary person, he actually came from the spiritual world. Then Yudhishthira asked, what? Can somebody come from spiritual world like that? Fall down? Then the reason, the whole pastime of the 4 Kumaras were described, and the 3 lives of Jaya Vijaya, and that's how the Shishupala, that's how they ended up with the description of Shishupala being killed. And after that, during that description, the Hiranyakashipu and Prahlada's interaction, how Hiranyakashipu was so bad that he was torturing his own son. For that, Yudhishthira Maharaj asked this question. Oh, is that so? Prahlada Charita, please. And that's when Hiranyakashipu, how he was angry with Lord Vishnu and wants to kill him, how he spoke all that philosophy. But in that philosophy came Yamaraja, and Yamaraja brought Kulinga birds, all that we have heard. So there the take-home points for us was, yes, Hiranyakashipu has this controller. He wants to be the controller, enjoyer, proprietor, and that's why he wanted to kill Lord Vishnu, but he was determined to do so. So for us devotees, yes, we acknowledge we have those tendencies because we are conditioned souls, but we want to give them up. That's one thing. And second thing is, yes, we receive the jnana from the spiritual authorities in a submissive mode and share it for our purification in a submissive mode. So those are the big differences. And there we have heard these three things are not easy to go away. Ahamkara. Ahamkara is the reason for the controllership, proprietorship, and enjoyership. That's the very reason why we are here in this material world. Not easy to go away on our own. So when we constantly hear from those Sharanagata Bhaktas who don't have these, then we will be infused. We will be inspired to head that way. And we will be given the taste, and our thought will be in that direction. Our efforts will be in that direction in bhakti. So they will increase that lalasa for us. All that comes from them because they don't have that ahamkara. They have sharanagati. So for us to have that, we hear from them. Otherwise, where is the sharanagati available in this material world? Who is there without ahamkara? Only those who have sharanagati. So that's where it comes from. So as we hear from them and do the bhakti together, then we will be gradually taken there. On that note, we will pass, dear devotees. Yeah.